welcome to Scrapbooking with Tiare. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to create a layout and a card. We'll be using this sketch from the Sketch a Day Club to create our layout. Although this is a two-page sketch, we will be creating a single-page layout using this sketch as our inspiration. We will then make a card using the scraps from our layout. Let's get started. I'm going to start this layout a little bit different because I am going to ink the letters of my title. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the letters first so that by the time we get to it, they'll be dry. Basically, I just take a stamp pad, a cat's eye, these are stackable, and I just lightly tap on the letters, which I have run through my Xyron, my little Xyron X. They're just about the same color as my background paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. First thing you want to do is add your 4x12 strip of pattern paper. It's going to be adhered about an inch from the bottom and a half an inch from the left hand side. Next, I'm going to add a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch by 12-inch strip of pattern paper. And that goes right along the edge, probably about a little less than ½ an inch from the edge of that first piece. It's overlapping with a piece of that pattern paper showing. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my photos close to the bottom. My first photo is going to overlap my pattern paper. My next two photos will not, and I'm just stacking them neatly. Before I got started, I cut out a couple of flowers that I wanted to use to embellish the layout. These flowers came from the pattern paper, and I cut them right out of the pattern paper, which is one of my favorite ways of embellishing my layouts, is to use the patterns that are already there and just cut flowers or shapes from the pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and adhere those flowers to this strip. Take this one down a little bit. This is going to come together quite quickly. Next, I'm going to take another flower that I cut from a separate piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to place it closer to the top edge. It's going to go with my title. I didn't put any adhesive behind that part because I kind of want that part to stay popped up like that. Before I add my title, because I just inked it, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of pieces of bling. These are they're little like rhinestones or jewels that are actually intended to decorate your cell phone. It's something that teenagers use. I use it on my layouts because they come with adhesive on the back already. Makes it quick and easy, and I just want to take a couple and use them as the center of my flowers. You could just stick your thumbnail under them and pop up the adhesive and just go ahead and place it in the center of your flower. Next, I am going to take the letters that I inked for my title, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding those, and I'm going to go backwards from the flowers so that I can spell my title with my last letter ending there. And what I'm writing is the words Ben Pao, or shall I say are the words Ben Pao, which is a restaurant that we went to in Chicago. My letters are still a little wet, but I'm kind of a junky scrapper sometimes, which means that, you know what, hey, you know, if it's a little wet and the color comes off a little bit, no big deal. If it smears a little bit, no big deal. I just think it just adds to the charm of the layout. Plus, I just get done in the time that I want to be done. be forewarned that you don't want to put the adhesive on and then ink your letters. The adhesive part just kind of made a mess. So what I decided to do is just kind of ink up the design a bit. There, a quick and easy fix, and I actually like the way this looks better than the original. Layout is just about done. There are two things that I sometimes like to do when I feel like there's just that the layout needs an extra little something. And one of those things is to cut a slit in my paper, which I'm going to do right here. And it really is just a simple little slit. Okay. And then you just take that slit and you fold one side down and you fold the other side back as well. Next, you take a piece of pattern paper that you've cut out and you're gonna adhere it behind it to create this cute look. Okay. And to hold these flaps down, you can add some adhesive, but it's kind of hard because it's cardstock. So what I like to do is add brad. I like to kind of push them down like this to make sure that the prongs in the back go pretty flat. The last thing I like to do, as you all know, is ink my edges. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of this in this creamy white color. Just go all around the layout. There it is, my finished layout. Now that we've finished with the layout, we're going to go ahead and get started with the card. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to grab my goodies that I'm going to use for the card. What you're going to need is a piece of that pattern paper. The first pattern paper, all of them, we only used a small portion. So for one piece, I cut an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of the pattern out, and I folded in half to create a card. I like this little swirl over here, so I decided this was the portion of the pattern paper I was going to use. So let's get started. Okay, so once I have my piece that I want to use as the base of my card, I am going to actually take my X-Acto knife and cut a little slit in it along this swirl. I've decided that I want to tuck a pattern paper strip in here, so I need to cut that. Okay, I'm going to take the 1/2 inch of pattern paper I just cut, and I'm going to tuck it behind the slit I just cut. Next, I want to add a little bit of adhesive behind that. Then I'm going to clip off the end. Next, I'm just going to adhere this cute flower that was on the die cut sheet that came with this pattern paper, which is in the May 2009 plush pack, coming to your mailbox soon. Gonna go ahead and put that right here. And as I did with my layout, I'm gonna add one of those self-adhesive little jewels, gems, bling, whatever you want to call it, right to the center. And that's it. It's done. Ta-da! I hope you enjoyed this episode of Scrapbooking with Tiare, and you'll come back and scrapbook with me again. Bye! you.